All right, hello and welcome. We are here today to introduce Matt Ville. He's one of the in-residence teams. He's the CTO in residence. Say hello, Matt.
Hey everyone, nice to meet
All
you.
right. And for those of you that have not met Matt before, he's been the CTO in residence for the last couple of years, and it's really great to have him as part of the team. I'm going to tell you why I like him as a CTO in residence, and then he's going to tell you a little bit about himself and how it all works in his company, High Yield. Okay. But one of the reasons I like that is because he has a superpower that I have rarely found anywhere else that I've been working. And lots of people that I know who are CTOs know about tech. Some have an empathy with the business, and some come from like more of a product background. But rarely have I seen all three of these things come together into somebody's brain in a way that Matt can do it so fluidly in meetings and in sessions where he's thinking about a product and customers, as well as technology, as well as how to make money, all in the same brain space. Normally it takes two or three people in a meeting to make that work, but Matt can literally internalize all of that stuff. And I think that's pretty special, to be honest. So thank you for being our CTO in residence, Matt. What would you like to tell everybody about yourself and about High Yield?
Yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity, firstly. And I think for me, the best thing about being part of the Canopy community, and especially the CTO in residence, is just getting to work with inspirational founders. So if I go back to my own journey, I started off in digital agencies back in 2001 at the start of my career as a software developer. So making websites, small digital products. Not that they'd have been called digital products back in 2001. And then spent a good number of years there, and then I went into kind of the crazy world of startups after that. So I went into kind of three different tech startups and kind of founding early team stage. And some of them were kind of successful, others were complete failures. It was it's a broad spectrum, and what I can say is each one taught me an awful lot about some of the things that Stu said there, how that kind of holy trinity of product, tech, and commercial, because you need all of that when you're doing a startup. And it was only really when one of those startups came to the end, but I was kind of recalling my experience in startups, my experience in digital agency land, and then I thought, why don't I found a company that's an agency that's founder friendly? So that's kind of how we got to be High Yield, how it is today. So it was founded as a founder friendly digital agency. We work with a lot of startups from all different kind of, where it's just sometimes just one person with an idea, all the way through to kind of startups who've then started to scale up. And it's really because I personally, but also the team around us at High Yield, we just love going on those startup journeys. So I've kind of got that personal experience of the startup journey, and it's quite nice now because I get to live that startup journey for other startups. So I get kind of little bits of inspiration from various different sectors of those startups that we work with. And that's just taken itself one step further into the Canopy community, where there's so many other startups in so many different and interesting spaces that it's challenging because it's sometimes areas that we've not worked before. But it's also really interesting. And I think that's the best thing about kind of my role at Canopy.
Thanks, buddy. And it's great to have you in that. So for anybody who's watching this and not really explored how the in-residence team works before, let me just sort of lay it out for you. So as tribe members, you get ad hoc, free of charge access to the in-residence team. So people like Matt are in this CXO role, donating, if you like, half hour of the time on an ad hoc basis to just help you out, do a sense check, so talk something through if you're a little bit stuck. And you've got 14 of us at the moment that are in that list. You get self-scheduling links, you can pick out some time, and he's made a couple of hours every week available to do that, and that's super cool. Then beyond that, if you're in one of the paying programs, like the Emerging Founder Program, you may get a knowledge transfer from that, and you've got a couple of things that you specialize in, and we may tell them about that in a second. And then if he's done the knowledge transfer that month, he'll host the live coaching call. We get to ask him all sorts of questions. Now, if you want to use more of Matt's time, you want to do something a bit more like significant on a journey, then you might end up on a commercial relationship with Matt as a CTO or as High Yield being a provider. But you start from this point where you've got a zero barrier to access. Getting to Matt, all you need to do is be a tribe member, go to the self-scheduling link, pick out some time, And that's all available through the membership platform that we've got. When you join as a tribe member, you get the in-residence team piece. You just go into there, pick out the link, and make the time. All right. So we hope that this is helpful to you. And we've been running the in-residence team for the last couple of years. Every November, we refresh on the basis of what are the new needs, how do we change things. Matt's been the CTO in residence for the last couple of years, and he's super awesome at it. And Matt, just before we go out, what's the pieces of content that you've delivered recently when we've been doing the workshops up in London?
Yeah, so a lot of the content has been focused around MVPs, so minimum viable products, term that's kind of synonymous now in the startup world. Wasn't so much when I was kind of early on in the early noughties, kind of looking at startups, but it's really the knowledge transfers that I deliver are really how you shape your initial MVP. So what is that product that you're going to take to market? It's getting the scope and the requirements to a point where you're driving enough value to engage your target audience enough for them to have, create some traction within your product. So it's not building, it's kind of looking at it in terms of some founders have the big vision, but along with that big vision, you need a lot of time and a lot of budget to deliver that. And actually, sometimes a lot of the time, you can bring that down to something that's a lot more simple, and can still engage an audience, gain some traction, and then iterate it quickly over time. So coming up with different product ideas that can fit that kind of simpler, scaled down starting point is something that we do as a knowledge transfer. And then kind of the next step on from that, which is something that's on everyone's lips at the moment, which is AI. That's just the other piece of knowledge transfer around how, when you're building your MVP, can you bake AI and AI services into your MVP? So AI over the last couple of years has kind of been democratized a lot. So there's no barrier to using AI-based technologies and services in your product. But I think the key is it's spotting the opportunity and the value. So it's not just putting an AI bot or an AI widget in the corner of the screen and thinking you've ticked the AI box, which you have, and you've ridden the hype, but actually you'll get fleeting engagement with that because it's AI, and then users will understand, but actually it's not really serving a purpose for them or delivering them any value. So it's figuring out within your product, how can you add AI where there's valid use cases for it, that's actually going to drive value to users, back to the same metrics as MVP really, but that AI slant on it. That's kind of the two most recent bits of content that we've been delivering.
So obviously, if anybody's at London City, they can get access to these through the workshops we're giving. But in the Emerging Founder Program, they're going to be some of the knowledge transfer that you'll be doing in the next 12 months. So brilliant to get this done, Matt, and to give everybody the opportunity to kind of see who you are and what sort of things you can offer before they come and book a slot with you through the in-residence program. And for anybody who's watching, have a look at the bottom of the screen here. You can see how to join Canopy Tribe and to take up Matt's offer of some time to chat anything through. A CTO in residence is super cool, whether you're a CTO yourself or you're looking for a technical founder. Having that check and balance, that sense check of somebody to come and have a look at what you're doing, it's incredibly valuable. And remember, these sessions are all remote. Matt may very well be based in Cornwall, but he's happy to take a call from wherever you are. If you're in Bangalore, Boston, Lisbon, even from Falmouth, you can do a call with Matt and get some support. Thanks for this, Matt. Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I mean, I think you use the Canopy link. You can book through Linktree, which will go straight through to my calendar, so you can see my availability. I've actually done 2 calls just this week, and it's very varying things. So one of them was, I need to hire a CTO. Can you help me with the job spec and kind of what the market going kind of specifications for a CTO might be in my particular situation as a startup founder. And then the other one was they built a product with a dev house. They weren't happy with it. And they needed to know kind of what steps they needed to take to basically get their product launched and work through these slight problems with the dev house that they'd chosen. So lots of different topics we can talk about. Book by the link and we can have a chat.
Thanks, Matt. That's super awesome.
Thanks, everyone.